All right, we're going to spend a little time talking about acceleration mechanics. You're basically the body positioning and foot placement and mechanics involved in trying to accelerate. A lot has been talked about top end mechanics, so you'll see coaches talking about how to do your arm swing and getting your knees up, but a lot of times we don't really see people teaching kids or athletes how to accelerate, and it's probably more important than top end mechanics. So we spend a lot of time teaching people how to accelerate, and we generally will go through a progression that works for us. And it's not perfect, but it really works for us, and then there's lots of different ways and different variations we can use depending on how well or not well the athletes are picking it up. So what we usually start off with is trying to explain to the athletes that when you're accelerating, you actually have to be leaning into it. So if this is your head, and here's your feet, and we're running that way, your whole body has to be leaning in the direction that you're going, and your feet have to be driving back in the opposite direction. In order to get that lean, your whole body has to be leaning instead of bending at your hips. And unfortunately, a cue that seems to be out there a lot with coaches is stay low when athletes are accelerating. And what we see a lot of times is athletes develop a bent hip position, so they're running with their chest down, but their legs are straight instead of actually in like a falling type position. So we'll get them in it by doing a tall and fall drill. But before we even get to that, we talk about the foot placement and where their foot is going to hit the ground and what part of their foot's going to hit the ground. So we'll tell athletes to stand with their whole foot on the ground and just rock forwards just enough so that the weight comes off of their heels. So now they're on the ball of their foot. They can even pull their toes up slightly so that they feel that they're on that meaty part of their foot. A lot of times I'll actually go up to a kid and pick the foot up and push on the part of their foot that we want them to be on. When they're on that meaty part of their foot, they should feel a little bit springy. They're not up on their tippy toes. That would be an incorrect foot placement. They want their heel to be just a teeny bit off the ground, just enough so they can slide a piece of paper underneath their heel. From there then, to get them to understand how to get their knee up and actually strike the ground, we'll teach them a drill that I came up with a couple years ago that we call foot poppers or an icebreaker. And all the drill is you stand on one foot, you bring your other foot up so your knee is about at 90 degrees, keep your knee tucked in and your toes up so your ankle's dorsiflexed. Your left knee then, or your support leg, is slightly bent, and we tell them if you drive your foot down through the ground with your toe up and this leg is bent, what's going to happen? Sometimes the kids don't even understand that they're going to then pop up in the air a little bit.